Welcome to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. I'm Steve G, and what we have this time is the Matsubara Wavy Face Aogami or Blue number 2 Nakiri 170mm knife. This knife has combo construction. It is 3 layers. The outside layers are stainless, and the inside core steel in the middle is Aogami Blue paper number 2 reactive high carbon steel. Heat treats typically in the 62, 63 Rockroll HRC range for that. The weight on these and dimensions can vary a little bit per knife to knife, but if we take a look at the construction again, you can see this is the cladding. It has a what they call wavy face, but it's a hammered kind of tsushime style finish to it, some pretty deep hammer marks to it, and then you've got a pretty generous grind here where the grind starts on the sides down towards the edge. You can see kind of a fairly polished treat to the, or finish, excuse me, to the core steel right there. That's the dark part or shiny part. Real pretty knife. Nice execution on that. In terms of weights and dimensions, this particular one has 190 grams or 6.7 ounces for the weight. Edge length, usable edge length where that tip starts coming in, about 162 millimeters on this one, or 6.4 inches. Overall length, about 313 millimeters, or 12.3 inches. And then the spine, fairly stiff knife. I should say pretty stiff. It has thickness I got of 3.3 millimeters. Again, these are going to vary. 3.3 millimeters at the back, and about halfway down I got about 2.2, so it thins out. And then it pretty much just carries that, maybe 2.1 all the way to the top end of it. We can get our camera to focus here. There we go. The edges ground pretty thin right at that edge, so this should be a nice performing knife with some backbone to it. So you should have a pretty good combination of heft, stiffness, thin at the edge for performance, food release with that finish on there. It should be a nice combination of those. It's a fairly tall knife, so I got about 57.8 at the back on the millimeters tall, and then about halfway down gets a little bit shorter as you go towards the front, so I got about 56.6 millimeters tall halfway down. You've got a slight back swoop here to the choil or the back of the blade, just a little bit. Let's get our beauty shot while we're at it. This had a nice out-of-the-box edge. I'm giving it 7 out of 10 on my scale, so it's quite a nice edge on it. Handle is octagonal oak with what they call urushi or burnt kind of finish to it, where they burn it and then they sand it down and take that off. It's a nice, cool, gradual change there. Nice fit and finish, pretty simple handle, but straightforward. The job that they did gluing up the tang into the handle is very nicely done. Balance point is about right there. It's a pretty hefty blade, so about right there, which is pretty darn close to a pinch grip for me. So my fulcrum or balance point is pretty close to neutral. Fit and finish, it's nicely done. It's got a little bit of polish to the spine, a little bit of relief on the corners of the spine, and then they've done a nice job cleaning up and rounding. It's not polished much, but they did a real nice job sanding down and rounding the choil into the neck, so nice clean grinds on it. You can just grab this baby and start using it right out of the box. Let's take a look at the cutting board profile. Alrighty. So, Nakiri knives can be anywhere from almost pool table flat to fairly roundy, or a little bit of belly. This one is pretty flat in the back half. So, now, can you rock these with this style of tip? You bet. You can just rock it as much as you want. No problem. Not really a problem at all. You lose some of the tip here, so it will get kind of weird on the cutting board, so maybe in there. But it's flat, so boom, stop right there. You got about 40%, maybe 50% of that blade is pretty darn flat at the back. So if you are going to chop with this, you kind of have to work to keep it a little parallel to the board, so you're not doing, this kind of stuff. I'm exaggerating, of course, but you'll have to kind of keep it fairly flat. But nice profile. If you like a nice chopping knife, which is a lot of people like this style of blade, there you go. So you can do a little rocking with it, tip draws, no problem. So this is a very nice package. It's got some heft, stainless cladding over reactive for a little bit easier maintenance. Nice grinds, nice performance grind to it with some heft to it. So this is the Matsubara Wavy Face Aogami or Blue number 2 Nakiri 170mm knife from Chef Knives to Go.